So hi, Longer Noise Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with
Todd. And I'm Mason, and we're from Mars Culture.
And we're asking some questions today about their new EP, Mishaps of My Mid-20s. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about their sponsored so far?
Yeah, it's been nuts. Been crazy. Like, we've obviously with the releases before, we put the 4 singles out, and we weren't entirely sure if we're doing an EP. And it kind of just sort of made itself in the process of us putting these songs out, and they were initially received really well. And then just to have the new ones sort of have the same response just shows it's like a consistent EP for us, and it's really good. Exciting time.
Yeah, the EP is fucking incredible. It's so good.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Yeah. So is there any meaning behind the EP title or cover art?
Yeah, so basically, like Todd said, we released 4 singles earlier in the year. And basically the songs that we didn't realise we were writing at the time were very subjective to the kind of experiences that we've had over the last year as a band, like with managers and the industry and, you know, growing up and
losing, members leave the band and stuff.
Yeah, so losing friends along the way and stuff. So it's kind of it's an experience that we've kind of captured that just sort of came to be by what we were going through, essentially. It was a very cathartic experience, and I think it's kind of got this sort of ebb and flow to it where a lot of people can kind of take what they want from the EP as well and apply it to their own experiences.
Yeah, it was like the lyrics were kind of written in a open way where you can attach your own experiences to it rather than subject to like anecdotes of what we've been through sort of thing. So, and the whole title with Mishaps in my mid-20s, it was the inevitable things that everyone goes through that I know like no one ever tells you about it, but when you do experience it, like no one actually said your friend group of 10, 15 then becomes 5, and then you're like, okay, like, and you don't really necessarily realize it's happening until it's happened. And then the artwork is basically us cut out, and it's different parts of our faces all put on. So it's basically a metaphor representation of all of us in this one thing, which is mouth culture. And then we've got these snorkels on, which is basically us avoiding drowning in the mishaps, pretty much.
Trying to stay afloat, as we all are.
Hell yeah. Love that.
Hell
yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about your writing process for the EP?
Yeah. So with writing, we all live together. And we have like a little home studio where we do a lot of pre-production and demos.
That's where we're sat.
It's where we're sat right now.
You can't really see it. It looks very bare actually, with no instruments or anything.
Some studio.
But yeah, the writing process, it's kind of, it changes a lot, but it normally starts with an instrumental idea, where, you know, it's like that same way you have to write like 9 bad ideas to get, you know, the 10th is the best one or whatever. And yeah, it just kind of happens organically, I guess. But
we're always writing. Obviously, with the studio so accessible for us, like every day we're in there writing, and we've got a catalogue of probably like 200 to 300 ideas. Like, so not all of them are like solid ones, but all potential that we've wrote them, we went, we'll do something with it eventually. So it's just there in the catalogue sort of thing. And me and Mason are always doing instrumentals because it's our hobby at the end of the day, not only for the band, just in general. And then Jack comes along and likes to, we kind of changed in a way. Like recently he's wanted to do more where we start with a vocal idea and then try and write around it, which we don't normally do. But with Jack's ear for melody, it's starting to show that we can write in another direction almost from what we've done before, which is kind of interesting for us. So yeah, I think that's what we're going to be pursuing a lot more with the next body of work. Not to dismay anything that we do right now, but just sort of like different processes that we're going to try moving forward as well. So yeah.
Fair enough. Makes sense.
All right. So what song off this EP took longest to write, and which one is each of your own personal favorite?
Oh, minus one to write. I think it was Sunny Smile.
It was,
yeah. I think with Sunny Smile, we had like the initial idea, but there was a lot of different chorus ideas that went into it, different grooves, different lyrics, different melodies, until I think we'd gone crazy trying to figure it out, because songs at the end of the day, like they're never finished. They're just like a puzzle piece, and then you listen to it and you go, okay, yeah, that's it. But you can work on a song forever.
Yeah.
And we just went through loads of different versions of the chorus until we finally got the one where we're like, yo, that is
just has that
like
non-tangible feeling that you just know that's the one that it sounds like it should be there, sort of thing. And it becomes a frustrating process because I don't think you've made the song you want to make until you hate it. That's like you go through. It's like we go through it so often where we're like, well, mostly Jack really, where he's like, I don't like the idea anymore. And we're just like, oh god,
the guitar riff is so good.
Like, at what point do you guys kind of know when to stop, or do you guys not even know kind of when to stop?
We
deadlines.
Well, yeah, those help.
That plays a huge part, but I think collectively we always have the same response, because we'll carry on working on something until we're at that point where we'll bounce it down, export it, and then we'll go downstairs to the kitchen, get into a different room, and we'll like play it out of Alexa, or we'll go play it in our car. And if we're all like, this is sick, and we're all like bouncing our heads, or whatever the vibe is that we're trying to capture on that song, we all kind of just know that we're like, this is it. And then we know we get to take it to the studio now and make it even better, which is a whole other thing. Because like working with Jamie on this EP, the demos, they're almost like lo-fi versions of the songs that we made for the EP. They're like, the production is drastically different. And a lot of the stuff that we demo does make it to the record as well. But yeah, Jamie's just amazing at like bringing our vision to life. He fully understands it.
Gotcha. And personal favorites off the EP?
You go first.
Okay, two different ones for two different reasons. So my favorite one to play and like experiencing it and writing it was, again, because it was one that it felt different to what we'd wrote before, and especially when we went to the studio and recorded it from the demo, it was like, holy shit, when it was, we loved the song originally from the demo, and then listen back to the demo, you kind of go, I don't even, not like that, but like in comparison to what it was in the end, was, for me, it was like a really nice moment to be like, oh wow, we actually made that, sort of thing. And then Mishaps just for the emotional reason for it. It was basically a song about us, our experience in how we were like talking with each other and dealing with each other in certain situations, which sometimes got a bit nasty, which it does when you're around each other all the time. And because we live together and we're doing all this together, it's like you do get on top of each other. It's hard to balance that sort of life. So for me, that song is a nice one to listen to understand that we're all on the same page and we all know what we want from this sort of thing. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Beautifully said.
Thank you, man.
I mean, I was going to say again for the exact reason that Todd said. Obviously, I can't pick that now, so I'll pick my sister. I would probably say it does change a lot, but I'd probably say Cherry Red Rage, just because we'd always wanted to write like our rock song, our punk song sort of thing, like just that rage energy, and we just want to throw down live and everyone jumping around and stuff. And I think when we initially got that demo, that isn't kind of too far off the vibe of the real thing, it's just like with tones and stuff. When we had that demo, we were like, oh my god, we've actually done it, like this is it. And then when we released it and started playing it live and stuff, it translated so well to how we all felt about the song when, you know, like we encapsulated that rage moment, if you will. But yeah, for that reason, that we just get to rock the fuck out with that song, and it's all we've ever wanted to do with a song, to be honest.
Hell yeah.
We had some videos, some dude from, I can't remember his name now, bless him, but he was in Malta and he was just driving in his car, and like this old beat down car, and the scenery was like amazing. He's just got rage on it. He's just fully just headbanging,
got the windows down,
and it was like, oh my fuck, that's like
amazing.
The perfect situation for that track, and it was it's sick.
Absolutely.
I love that. Hell yeah. So where was your headspace at while you guys were writing this EP?
All over the shop.
Yeah.
All over the shop.
Yeah. Like I said about like the concept behind the title and everything, it was going into 2023. It was a very uncertain time because we just had 2 members leave the band, like 2 core members that we started the band with. So that left me, Jack, and Todd being like, shit, like what are we gonna do? Like we've got to figure a lot of stuff out here. And we just ended up just going into the studio and just putting everything into that. And then as the year went on, we had ups, we had downs, we had a manager kind of legal battle, if you will.
Oh, sure.
Oh God.
Which if you listen to Sharp Bait, that is what that song is about. And we wrote Sharp Bait a week before we went to the studio, and that became the lead single. So the year was very, very up and down. But
Absolutely.
I think it was very necessary for us to all experience that because it's thickened our skin, it's opened our eyes to a lot of things, and we're not as naive as I guess we used to be.
Yeah, I think just a lot more savvy to the industry and how it works. Because I think you always have this glorified idea of how everything is, and then you get the reality check. And our reality check was a bit of a scary one, wasn't it? So it's like, so we obviously wrote that song in because that's what we do. Whenever we go through shit, we just write about it. And I think some people are often like worried to come around our house because like if they ever do anything, say if they have like a drunken like bad night or something, like, oh God, they're gonna write a song about it. It's like beware coming over to kill. But
it's I think it was very necessary for us to all go through that and also heal from it because, like I said, it's thickened our skin and it's only brought us closer together now.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah. So are you guys able to touch on any particularly challenging or standout moments from the creation of this EP, positive or negative?
I've got one, a very niche one.
Okay.
One song. It's for Sunny Smile. We wrote it, and it's quite a difficult bass part in the sense of just hand like structure of how you've got to hold your hands for it. And the way I'd practiced it before the studio was on a smaller bass guitar and with my fingers. Got to the studio and like within I think maybe 10 minutes, like Jay, my producer, was like, yeah, try it on the other bass, which was a lot bigger, and use a pick. And I was like, okay, cool, shit. It's like, even though it's like in my brain and I know how to play it, it became very much like my hands were just like cramping up, and I was like, oh God. When you're under a pressure where you've got to get shit done, we've got like 2 days at the studio to get all the drums done and the bass of like 3 songs. So like your headspace is like, right, I need to get this one done by then. And then when you've got that deadline, it's like, oh God, it's creeping up on you. So it was probably the most stressful one for me to record. But once I got like the first verse out of the way, it was like more relaxed. But it was that first verse that was a bit of a killer. But yeah, that's probably, other than that, it's been all of our sessions at the studio have been so, Jamie makes it like such a nice environment. And I think that's the most important thing, is when you go into those spaces, with the time constraints and the pressure, it can sometimes be not a nice atmosphere. But every single time we've gone with him, he makes it so comfortable, and it just feels great, because then you can really channel what you want the songs to sound like, and you can experiment and without worrying about, oh, I need to get this done by then or whatever.
Absolutely.
So,
That's good.
Yeah.
Anything to add, Mason?
I fully agree with what Todd said.
Okay.
He concurs.
I didn't know if you had a separate memory or not.
We're so on the same page, you see. So.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Mason's just the magician on the guitar, so he never struggles with anything. He's just next bit.
Done.
So for this question, I want you to picture you're on tour at a gas station for a rest stop. What is your snack of choice?
Snack of choice. Probably barbecue pop chips.
Barbecue pop chips.
Yeah,
Nice.
they're
Low calorie as well, I think.
They're extortionate at, a service station over here in the UK, but when I can afford them, that's my go-to.
Yeah. I'd probably get an iced coffee before anything. Before any food, I get an iced coffee. And then what's good with an iced coffee? I'd have a Greg's will get if it's got a Greg's, then we're going Greg's. So I'd probably say I get a vegan sausage roll, but 95% of the time they aren't warm because they've been there all day and no one buys them.
Yeah. So it's kind of hit or miss with Greg.
Yeah. It's a lucky day if you get a hot vegan sausage roll. If you can take anything from this interview, it's that.
Damn.
All right.
So for these last couple questions, we're going to shift away from music, if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah, no problem.
Great. So we're actually going to go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
I thought you were about the record label then.
Unfortunately, no. I wish.
Last meal and drink.
Mm-hmm.
I would say a seafood linguine.
Okay.
With a pint of Guinness.
All right.
Nice.
Solid.
Nice.
Genuinely.
That's a lot of calories, so it's good as the last
I don't
one.
think the Guinness.
Yeah,
I don't
last
think the
one.
Guinness would probably, marry well with the seafood linguine. But
It's your last one. You don't
That's
know
what
until
I'd
you
have.
try
Who the
it.
fuck cares about pairings, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I'd have a Sunday dinner. I don't know if you're over in America, but Sunday dinner is just basically potatoes. It's like your Thanksgiving dinner, pretty much. I think.
But we have it every Sunday.
Yeah, we have it every
Goddamn.
Sunday.
Oh, wow.
And then I just have that, but then I'd add pigs and blankets because they're normally only at Christmas. So I'm going to go special occasion. It's death row, isn't it? That's a special.
Exactly. It's pretty special.
I think we'd have the pigs and blankets.
Yeah.
And then I'd have a glass of like stupidly expensive red wine that I wouldn't enjoy, but the fact that I'm drinking it, I'm like, it's
Nice and
it's
expensive.
This is delicious.
Feels fancy.
Yeah.
Exactly. You'll choke it down. It's fine.
Yeah.
And I've done of asking the last question. Every single person that we've spoken to have said that it is the most important question. What's your favorite color?
Favorite color? Blue.
Mm-hmm.
Yellow.
Yep. Goddamn right. Yellow's the best color.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
It has changed recently. It was blue for a while,
He's changed it.
but yellow is my new number one.
Okay, good.
I had an internal like monologue of discussing
Yeah, he's
color hierarchy.
He's been looking at
yellow.
this.
Took the.
He's been looking at this yellow hoodie the whole time.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it
Yeah.
once. I've just been obsessed. With
Yeah, he's like, wow. So as I said, that's all the questions you have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
I mean, we're going on tour end of Feb and March, UK tour. So if there's any UK listeners, then please grab a ticket. There's a couple ones that are free, so you can even get down there. They're probably going to get really busy, so get down there early. We have loads of merch on our store on www.mouthculture.co.uk. Com works as well. I'm working on some URL thing there that I don't know what's going on, but you should be able to find it. And stream Mishaps in my mid-20s because, like you said, it's fucking sick. So
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for Sal. It's been Todd Mason from Mouth Culture, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.